Canada and the US share a close partnership, but their economies are far from equal. With an economy just a tenth the size of the US, Canada is deeply reliant on its southern neighbor. About 75% of Canadian exports head to the US. For many businesses, access to American consumers is everything. This dependency means any shift in US trade policy can threaten entire Canadian industries. While the US can weather trade disputes, Canada feels the pain much more acutely. The US holds significant leverage, and when tensions rise, Canada's options are limited. Trade wars aren't fights between equals. The US is the superpower, Canada the dependent partner. What's celebrated as economic integration can quickly become a source of pressure. Canadian leaders have long tried to manage this imbalance, but a more aggressive US trade agenda exposes Canada's vulnerability. The reality: Canada's prosperity is tied to a partner that can change the rules at any time. Donald Trump's trade strategy is blunt: tariffs and threats, even against allies like Canada. His 2018 tariffs on Canadian steel and aluminum showed that no partnership is safe from protectionism. Trump has floated a 10% tariff on all imports, a move that would hit nearly every Canadian export. This approach ignores the complexity of North American supply chains, where products cross borders repeatedly. Even the USMCA, meant to stabilize trade, offers little protection. Trump has criticized it and could push for renegotiation or withdrawal. The agreement's sunset clause gives the US leverage to demand more concessions. For Canada, the threat isn't just tariffs, it's the uncertainty that stifles investment and planning. Trump's zero-sum view of trade puts Canada on the defensive. In this environment, Canadian businesses face constant risk and instability. Canada's main response to US tariffs has been to retaliate, but the impact is limited. Tariffs on US goods like bourbon and orange juice send a message, but barely dent the massive American economy. The US can absorb trade skirmishes. Canada cannot. Escalating a tariff war risks far greater harm to Canada than to the US. Beyond tariffs, Canada relies on diplomacy, lobbying US lawmakers and building coalitions to defend open trade. But in a climate where the US executive holds the cards, these efforts may fall short. Diversifying trade partners is a long-term goal, but the US market is irreplaceable in the short run. Agreements with Europe and Pacific nations help, but geography and established supply chains keep Canada tied to the US. Shifting decades of integration isn't quick or easy. For now, Canada's tools are limited, and its leverage is weak. The reality: Canada can't win a tariff war and must tread carefully. The strategic bind is clear: few options, high stakes. The threat of renewed trade conflict looms large over Canada's economy. The 2024 US election could reshape Canada's future overnight. A return to aggressive US tariffs would force Canada into damage control mode. Canadian leaders are preparing contingency plans, but no strategy can fully shield the economy from a major trade shock. The consensus: Canada can't win a trade war, so de-escalation and diplomacy are key. The goal is to manage conflict, limit damage, and preserve the core economic relationship. Canada must balance defending its interests with the reality of its dependence. The coming years will test Canadian resilience and statecraft. Navigating this turbulent relationship is Canada's defining challenge in a shifting global order.